the people's governor that he is, who will always love to be very close to his people, and particularly that we are dealing with our students and on the same chair, so that and relate freely with one another. As far as this gathering is concerned, we are together. This is the
greatest Nigerian student of the greatest Togo, greatest Baba, the greatest Kadikadi.
Thank you very much.
It is a privilege for me to stand before you this evening to welcome you to the 2012 International Students' Day celebration. It is the first of its kind in Ekiti State and in Nigeria. International Students' Day celebration is observed annually internationally on the 17th of November to commemorate the death of giant officer as a result of Nazi's invasion of the University of Prague in 1939. The drastic measures of the Nazis against the resultant demonstration, of course, was the closure of all higher institutions in Czechoslovakia. More than 1,200 students were arrested and sent to concentration camps. 9 students and professors were executed without trial. The celebration is, however, this particular one, is, however, another demonstration of the President's avowed commitment to making governance participatory. It is another unique opportunity for students to interact with the governor, who we all know has listening ears. I would therefore advise you to make the best of this opportunity. You can be very sure that by the time we leave this hall this evening, all of us will be better informed of all the issues that we place on God. He is more than our governor. He is the mentor. However, since my duty is not to come and praise the governor, simply my duty is to welcome you. So, I welcome you. I wish you faithful, fruitful deliberations. And I wish you God bless you. Thank you very much.
Dear President from far and near, the stakeholders with the state government agenda, the celebrants of today, the students in whose interests we are gathered to perform a reappraisal of how far we as a people and government are come in the education sector in comparison to how the future of the students shall be made brighter. The 17th day of November every year has been adopted as the International Students' Day in celebration of our departed comrades in the 1939 students' resistant protest in the streets of praise against Nazi occupation, ensuring an education for all environment, and also to appreciate the continuous efforts of students in ensuring a better society. In view of this, it is expected to draw a relationship between student activism and the government's role in ensuring a better future for the student youth vis-a-vis the result-driven education sector established under a democratic leftist, a comrade governor of long-standing history, comrade Dr. Kayode Fayemi. We are come to be associated with the governor and the government of Ekiti State, which is the first government ever in history of West Africa to celebrate the International Students' Day, holding today, the 17th November 2012, with a special event themed Creating a Sustainable Partnership between students and government in Ekiti State. It's an opportunity for the students in institution and institution administrators in government to be able to participate, evaluate how far the government has gone in restructuring the education sector and ask Mr. Governor some questions on issues that bother on the welfare of students and his plans for the sector in the remaining 2 years of his first-term mandate and beyond. This is to show the commitment and passion of Mr. Governor to qualitative, quantitative, affordable, and functional education. Greatest Nigerian people, this is indeed participatory good governance. Mr. Governor and distinguished guests of honor, today, the students and their leaders have the opportunity to know how best the education sector has developed, have a say on the education policy of the government, rub minds together in ensuring a better education sector, and at the other side, the government will also know the mind of the students and what they actually want from and for the government as Ekitis and peace-loving students. I want to especially appreciate the distinguished of Education, Science, and Technology for organizing this maiden edition for the International Students' Day. The contributions of the administrative officers of the ministry has made this day a reality. The support gotten by the administrators of our tertiary institutions is highly appreciated. That of the leadership of the students, both the student unions on campuses and our towns and villages cannot also be undermined in ensuring that we have a great time here. The idealists of this event are also commended. The co-facilitators of this program are highly appreciated. Once again, we want to appreciate you all for gracing this historic and once in a lifetime event, whose date is keep history. Greatest Nigerian students!
Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and honor to be here today to witness this occasion. My job is very simple: to say and talk about our journey so far at the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. So I will not bore you with any further protocol. Every ministry has its job cut out for them. How? Through the vision of Mr. Governor with the 8-point agenda, which we have. I've given it an acronym that you can remember. It's called GIG-IT: Governance, Infrastructural Development, Industrial Development, Gender Equality and Empowerment, Healthcare Systems, Education and Human Capital Development, Modernization of Agriculture and Tourism. Agenda 4 is the agenda for education and human capital development. What is that agenda? By 2014, there will be a computer on every student's desk, free and compulsory education up to senior secondary school, special initiatives for physically challenged students, establishment of Institute of Science and Technology, creation of state sports academy for the gifted youth. How did we disseminate this agenda into a vision and mission? Our vision in the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology is to provide affordable, qualitative, functional, and sustainable education for enlightenment and enterprise. Old-school monitoring, provision of conducive environment, and regular capacity building of personnel. Who are we at the ministry? We have 9 departments, as you can see listed over there, 8 parastatals, and 2 tertiary institutions as of today. What are the ongoing reforms and the plans that we have made post the task force and visitation panel, as well as the education summit? 1, I'll just mention a few because I have a lot to go through. Consolidation of the Ekiti State University, X2. The College of Education was reinstated. We have done rearticulation of schools, amongst other things. We are also in the process of establishing a Science and Technology Institute. That's the picture of Mr. Governor with a lady that showed us that a greater equity is possible. Our plans and reforms continued. One of them is the equitable distribution of laptops. Another one that we're very proud of is the pegging of enrollment in schools across Ekiti, with a class size of not more than 40 and a maximum of 250 in schools within Ado and Ikere and 200 in other parts of the state. We've also established unified examinations for primary 3 to 6, JS3, SS2, and more, so that we can have statewide benchmarking across the nation. What have we achieved since October 15, 2010? As a ministry with 9 departments, 8 agencies, and 2 tertiary institutions. Department of Finance and Admin, as well as Administration and Supplies, are just 2 departments that keep us functional and efficient, and this we have improved on tremendously. Department of Evaluation and Standard, they are the ones who procure what we need that we call learning resource materials. I'll just mention the purchase of dictionaries, worth over 74 million for our students in secondary schools, amongst various things. You can see the Longman dictionaries being delivered over there. And that's our curriculum. We bought curriculum for all our schools in Ekiti because the new curriculum has been changed. Part of what we have also done in the inspectorate department is capacity building for teachers and effective monitoring. Another policy we're very proud of at the Ministry of Education is it's no more random sampling of schools, whereby maybe a school gets visited 3 or 4 times in a session, and another does not get visited at all. So we have adopted a mix of total and old school monitoring, where we, between Teaching Service Commission, SUBED, Ministry of Education, and other agencies of the ministry, we are able to achieve old school monitoring. And one of the things we do in that department is that we celebrate World Teachers Day. Last year, the best teacher in secondary school went away with that Toyota Yaris. The one in primary went away with that Kia Picanto. Monitoring of schools involves the governor up to the youngest person at the Ministry of Education. That's just a picture of me there in one school in Ado here, and another picture at AUD Comprehensive, where we try to mentor our children. One of the other things we are trying to achieve at the ministry is the establishment of a quality assurance agency. The land has been acquired, the bill is in the House of Assembly, and it will soon commence. That department will also be involved. I beg your pardon. That agency, when established, will involve neighborhood inspectors to make our inspectorate more effective. Inspection system is very critical for us at the Ministry of Education because we know that people don't do what you expect. They do what you express and inspect. So we intend to make sure we do that. At the Department of Planning, Research and statistics. They basically sort out the contracts and the different awards that we give at the ministry. We awarded quite a lot, but then the Lord came to our aid after we finished awarding this one that you can see with this wonderful project called Operation Renovate All Schools in Ekiti. Under Operation Renovate All Schools, in the first phase, we have renovated 100 schools to the tune of 1.9 billion naira. I'm waiting for the clap. Believe me, it's a huge effort. If you look at this figures without thinking of how much we actually earn a month, it will not make an impression on you. Then we also bought school furniture worth 600 million. And by 2013, we would have delivered 40,000 units of new furniture to our schools. This is just a picture of one of the schools renovated, Olaoluwa Muslim Grammar School at Ekiti. Isn't that a beauty to behold? Schools department. The schools department was involved in the rearticulation of schools, the merging of junior and senior secondary. They are the ones responsible for payment of WAEC fees, and also Braille computers were purchased through this department, as well as instructional materials for children in special schools. Under this administration, these children in special schools have benefited tremendously. This is a government that loves children who are physically challenged. Please, can we give him a round of applause? The reason I say that is that the people in the schools department told me that 8 years before this administration, they had been asking for Braille computers and instructional materials. Within 8 months of this administration, those things were already approved. Then we also procured school bags for our children in secondary schools in Ekiti State. And that's the instructional materials and the Braille computers you have on the screen. Those are the school bags being delivered. And that's, oh, you've already passed those beautiful children. Yeah, those are the beautiful children carrying the school bags. Now, school sports department. School sports department has enjoyed tremendous support from Mr. Governor. One of the things we did, because we did many things as you can see listed there, is that we're able to procure sports equipment for all our schools in Ekiti State. And you know the one I love, we were also able to buy all our schools chess boards and Scrabble for the children to use. That's a group picture of our children who came third at the Nestle Championship last year, being received by Mr. Governor. That's another group picture, and that's the sports equipment, just some of it, not all of it, that we distributed for sports department. Then Department of Science, Technology and Mathematics. We procured solar net books for all our children in Ekiti State secondary schools. By the end of this year, we would have taken delivery of 33,000 laptop computers. And donations from multinationals and different people that can help us. One of such is the donation of a building of a laboratory for physics, chemistry and biology from Star Deep Waters Nigeria Limited and its partners in Agbami, all project for Ode High School in Ode Ekiti. That's Mr. Governor giving out the teacher's laptop. Next one. The Braille, the regular and the Braille computers being given to students. And that's the current country representative of the World Bank giving out laptops at St. Mary's in Kole. And that's the representative of Mr. Governor, Mr. Abiodun Akifashai, at the commissioning of that laboratory in Ode Ekiti. And that's the beautiful laboratory that was donated to us. What we did was this Government Science College in Ayede when it got bombed. He gave us marching orders at the Ministry of Education, and within 3 weeks, that building was rebuilt. That's the building when it got bombed on the left, and that tertiary department, education, under the leadership of Dr. Fayemi, is the seamless merger of UC, UNAD, and TUNEDI into what we now have as Ekiti State University. Before anybody could say Jack Robinson, everything was resolved at the level of the AUC. I want to give our governor, I want you to give him a wonderful round of applause on this, because he steps in and he helps us to achieve even tasks that other people would find difficult to achieve. Another one is the reenacting of the law that established the College of Education in Kere, and several other things, but because this is tertiary, I'm going to take time and talk about it. The Education Summit we held, and illegal tertiary institutions are no longer free to operate in Ekiti. There's Federal University in Oye and Ikole took off. The JAM was successfully monitored, and then we facilitated. This is another thing I really appreciate about the governor of Ekiti State. My PS said our own duty is not to praise the governor, my own is to praise him. Please clap first before I do anything. You know, one of the things we are benefiting from in Ekiti State as a people is actually the goodwill of Mr. Governor. That's the truth. Yes. Everywhere we go, we meet with people who are ready to help. By the way, those laptop computers, because of his goodwill, we got them duty-free, tax-free, everything free. Because the people who are in charge of those things, they trust him and they believe in him. He also went to Chinese embassy and they offered us a place for 2 students who want to do postgraduate studies. And we just went through the database of our job creation agency, got 2 names of students we've never met before, and my Bumindiko Salami and myself actually took the children to Chinese embassy ourselves, and today they're in China. And they're already studying for their master's degree. They are ever so grateful. We also provided luxurious buses for tertiary institutions. We'll still come back to EXU and the rest of the schools. But let's move forward. Agency for Adult and Non-Formal Education. This is where adult learners in Ekiti State actually learn through various programs. It may interest you to note that Ekiti State has the most literate population in Nigeria. And just recently, under that agency, Mr. Governor approved the commencement of remedial colleges in 16 local governments, so that our children who did not do well on the first attempt will have a place to retake their examinations. We are going to be flagging that up very soon. That's a picture of the adult learners at our centers. Please go on. Skip that page. Let's go on. So much on adult education. Now we go to Board for Technical and Vocational Education. We've done a lot at the Board for Technical and Vocational Education. One program I'd like to highlight is the introduction of summer camps through Board for Technical, where our children can actually go during the holidays to learn one craft or the other. They learn soap making, mat weaving, tie and dye, tying, several other things that will make them useful to themselves, hairdressing and so on and so forth. And these are some of the pictures of what they learn at those centers. They do all sorts of things. Yeah, that's Mr. Governor cutting the cake, themselves. And another noteworthy thing for us as a government is the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with Samsung Engineering Academy. That we did at Seoul in South Korea, and the foundation has been laid here in Ado Ekiti. That's Mr. Seong Nam signing the memorandum of understanding. For technical, also got an approval for the purchase and supply of tools and equipment worth 22 million in this year. That board for technical had not been able to buy anything in the 6 years prior to this administration. 6 years. Please go to the next slide. I'm sure you can just see a long list of approvals that Mr. Governor gave to that particular agency. Please go on. Okay. Ekiti State Education Trust Fund is actually the place where we source some of the monies we use for education projects from. And the only thing I'd like to highlight here is the fact that we are planning to raise a 2.5 billion naira fund with that education trust fund in the first quarter of next year. The reason is because we know that charity begins at home, and we've already established our charity with Operation Renovate All Schools. So if you go out and ask people to help, I am sure well-meaning Ekiti people, as well as corporate organizations, will be able to help us. So that's what we're doing next year with Ekiti State Education Trust Fund. The library board. One other thing we've managed to achieve in this administration is the ability to secure help from donors. One of them is Books for International Goodwill. They gave us books worth 40 million naira for our schools and libraries in the States. And that's just to mention a few of what we do at Library Board. That's just a cross-section of some of the books we purchased, and the next lot is the books we got from Books for International Goodwill. Schools Enterprise Project and Wealth Creation Agency is another agency under this administration, under the Ministry of Education. We've been able to install a generator to be able to produce palm kernel oil at one of our schools, Government Science College in Ekiti. And we've continued to operate some bakeries, poultry feed making places, paving stone enterprise, Adire in several schools. As of today, we have them operating and functioning in 17 schools. We hope to extend this to all our schools over time. Scholarship Board. Scholarship Board just basically spends money. I have listed on the board the monies that have been released. But what will interest this gathering is the outstanding payment for year 2011 scholarships, right? 2010-2011. The checks have actually been written, but because we want to do it alongside with the law students' bursary who have gone to camp, so immediately after orientation camp, the payments will be made for both students in law school and those who have outstanding scholarships. Students, clap now. It's not easy to share out millions. Okay. SUBED has been at the forefront of training our teachers over the summer. We trained over 9,000 teachers. We've continued to provide learning resource materials. We provided 400 motorcycles for students and teachers in rural areas. We've established 19 new schools. We've continued enrollment drives. You can see Mr. Governor there getting involved with the nitty-gritty of everything we do. This was last year. The picture for this year, I didn't have it immediately. Just to show you, just to encourage parents in Ekiti to register and enroll their children. It will go out of his way, even when it's not convenient. Those are the 400 motorcycles distributed. This is just a typical story building built by SUBEB for our primary and secondary schools across Ekiti State. Another innovation of SUBEB is the village meetings, the road walk, and the different things that we do. Another critical thing that will be introduced at the Ministry of Education for all our students in primary and secondary school is social learning. We've brought back quiz, debate, drama, and spelling competitions to all our schools. The next is just a list of the things we've provided. Please go on. Teaching Service Commission. At the Teaching Service Commission, we've appointed 3 tutors general. We've procured 32 project monitoring vehicles for 16 area education officers and the 16 newly appointed education secretaries, amongst other things. Another thing is, when this government came on board, Mr. Governor said we should clear all promotion arrears. Promotion arrears for 2009 and 2010 have been cleared. Then by the time this government came on board, they had stopped the payment of of housing and car loan to teachers in secondary schools. Immediately Mr. Governor came on board, that was reinstated as well. What is really heartwarming is the fact that teachers in primary schools did not enjoy car and housing loan. Now that's because we didn't have an enabling law. Since the governor came on board, that law has been passed. That's just a picture of Mr. Governor handing out a car/housing loan check. Those are the 32 monitoring vehicles for our AEOs and education secretaries. Another critical achievement that we've had in the Ministry of Education is the collaboration of the Ministry of Information and Civic Orientation with Ministry of Education to root out exam malpractices in Ekiti State. I am glad that we've done this, because when we did, our real result showed through. And for me, that is better for us to know where we are so that we can at least know where we're going. Now that we know the state of things, we have put more effort in place so that we can achieve better results going forward. Because it's not enough to finish university, it's more important to be employable. And that's the kind of children, those are the kind of children that we're trying to raise. Who are the tertiary institutions? The College of Education Ikere, Ekiti State University Ado-Ekiti, College of Health Technology Ijeo, School of Nursing and Midwifery Ado, the Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti, Federal University Oye-Ikole, Afe Babalola University, and so on and so forth. But you will notice that I started only the first two, because only the first two are actually under the purview, as of today, of the Ministry of Education. So what have we achieved at College of Education in Ikere? Is the appointment of a sterling provost, a really intellectual, who has brought a lot of reform to the College of Education. In the person of Professor Francisca Aladejana, we have reenacted the law that established that college. They've improved on quality control, they've improved on research. Now they've been able to take all the money and the grants available from ETF for the purpose of research. Before the appointment of this provost, that money was not accessed. Please, can we give her a wonderful round of applause? This is one of the buildings newly done at the college. Some of the vehicles still, the Aluta Energy, the vehicle for their blocks industry, they've also reacted on industry. For example, all the buildings that are being built at the college now have to patronize this particular block industry. They've also been able to be able to improve on their IGR, amongst other things. The college is now ICT compliant. Many of the lecturers are now online. Everything is going as it should be. Then power sharing is no longer by patronage. It's now done on merit without consideration for mundane things. Another critical thing that was established at the college is the Parents Forum, where parents can actually have a say in the training of their children. They've cleared the areas of their staff in terms of remunerations. They've done so many things, time will not permit me to go through it. Ekiti State University. You know, this Ekiti is really blessed. By the way, the provost of the college is a first-class material in the sense of the word first class. He graduated in first class from University of Ekiti. But the vice chancellor of EXU is a first-class person with a difference. He still holds the record for the best first class from that same university. I am proud to announce that we got the best material as the Vice Chancellor of Ekiti State University. And we also were able to clear the areas of promotion for academic and non-academic staff. And another major feat, which they did in a short time, was the clearing of the outstanding convocations from 2006 to 2010. As of the next convocation, children will not only convocate, they will go away with their certificates. And the certificates will come with the pictures of those students on their certificates. It comes with the highest security available as of today. They've also been able to attract corporate sponsorship from First Bank, from GTB, from Google, and several others. And they've continued to improve on their IGR by blocking leakages in the college. Another thing I'm very proud of is that EXU has connected not just to the power grid, but the gear switch that had been in procurement process for like 1.5 years before this management came on board was actually received and installed and is now in use. And EXU is now connected to the power grid. EXU has also installed solar street lights so that the campus does not become a ghost town at 5 p.m. anymore. EXU just completed a 90 million naira worth of perimeter fencing, and another phase of that perimeter fencing has already been awarded. You wonder how come I know so much about EXU? Because I'm a member of the board. So I know all their stories. We are also in the process of constructing medical biochemistry, pharmacology building, hostels for medical students, and library at the College of Medicine. EXU has successfully installed 2 industrial boreholes, and they have completed the reticulation of the campus. So there is actually water in our buildings now. The next set of pictures is just to show and to give you a better view of what a world-class institution it will become in the near future. Please just enjoy. That's the power switch as I flip through the buildings that are now adorning our campuses. That's the twin lecture theater. It's very massive. It's past this stage now. It's actually completed. And I'm sure you can testify about the entrance into that university. Is now looking very impressive. Please go on with the picture slides of the university. Yes. Renovations done, new construction going on, and another set about to begin. All I greater things at the university. Awards. We continue to win awards. I don't want to keep you longer than necessary. What I will say, have I kept you to know? Because I'm really racing. One one of the ones that we really are very proud of is that one of our teachers won Best Science Teachers Project in Nigeria in 2011. We also came first in the Southwest competition for PTDF, for Young Talent Discovery, and we came third in the nation. No, we came fourth in the nation. Then our teachers have continued to win awards at the national level. We had in 2011 Best Junior Secondary School Aramoko District Commercial Junior Secondary School Aramoko came first. We also had the Best Primary School Teacher, Mr. Gola Oladekan, who came first in 2011. Then in 2012, we had some other awards. We had the Best Primary School in Sube Model Nursery and Primary School here in Ado, just amongst our various awards. Education. Education as a wealth creation tool is the reason I've been sweating since. Our plan is to provide functional and sustainable education. We believe that education will not just be for learning, but it will be for enlightenment and enterprise. Therefore, entrepreneurship will be incorporated into our curriculum from secondary school to tertiary institutions. We are going to encourage our researchers to proactively seek for grants and scholarships to carry out research in their institutions and to attract funding with laudable projects in schools. Education tourism is a wealth creation tool. Education increases the earning capacity of individuals. A compelling body of research links primary and secondary education to economic development and growth. This research recognizes people as a type of economic asset, that is human capital, and shows that increasing investment in health, skills, and knowledge provides future returns to the economy through increases in labor productivity. Education increases workers' average earnings and productivity, and it also reduces the incidence of social problems such as drug abuse, crime, welfare dependency, and lack of access to medical care, all of which can weigh heavily on the economy. Lifelong learning has literally become the new infrastructure of our knowledge-based economy. Education as infrastructure means that we must be willing to see our schools and colleges and universities as key players in economic development. Because of the talent they create, the research they conduct, and the new knowledge they produce. It is partly from research and innovation that the new companies are born, new ideas are birthed, and new jobs are created. Indeed, research and innovation help to drive economic expansion and the creation of new wealth. According to Thomas L. Friedman in his essay on Pass the Oil, Pass the Books, Hold the Oil, we intend to mine the brains of our people, even if we have no oil to drill. Thank you and God bless. A greater equity is possible. Just keep faith.
Ladies, we want to appreciate
Nigeria students and ever dynamic Nigeria students. Get us go. Get us back. Get us go back. Well, I'd like to commend the effort of the present administration of Ekiti State. I would like to tag this to the present administration of Ekiti State, which I call the government of total transformation. And I want to appreciate the name of the living God on his side for giving us the Nigerian students a sense of belonging in this kind of ground-shaking program. Thank you, sir. Number one, my able and dynamic governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, we want to commend the efforts so far in our dead state. I want to say big thanks to you, sir. And we pray that as you carry us along, that God will see you through in Jesus' name. In our school, College of Health Sciences and Technology, a lot of physical projects have been embarked on by this present administration. 5 blocks of classroom, 1 postal bus was given to us by this present administration, and a lot of physical projects in College of Health Sciences and Technology. Sir, we cannot but thank you for the good work so far, and we pray that God will help us in Jesus' name. Secondly, I want to commend the efforts of the committees on sciences and technology. I mean the board, that you done a great job, of which I pray that God will see you through in Jesus' name. But there is one issue that is bothering us, the issue of bursary, of which all institutions of Ekiti State were included, but College of Health Sciences and Technology and School of Nursing were accepted, of which I believe in my own dear that our dynamic governor will resolve the issue. Lastly, I want to commend the efforts of the Governing Council of the College of Health Sciences and Technology with our active provost in the college, because they really transform us, and I want to say big thanks to them. And of the greatest Nigerian student ever to social Nigerian student ever to Katakuta Nigerian student. Thank you. God bless
you. The president of our Maiden governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, JKF, but we at the Aluta Arena, we know him to be stalwart of the greatest Nigerian students. May I tell you again that even though, like others, I will stand on the existing protocol, but before then, I will recognize my own father, the Vice Chancellor of Ekiti State University, Professor Dr. Kayode. Today, by the special grace of God, we have been told that this will be the first of its kind in the whole of West Africa, where we will be celebrating the International Student Day. I remember when myself and the facilitator came together, when we discussed this, so we are going to send it to Mr. Governor, and because of the confidence in me, he will approve it. Today, it is now on record that Ekiti will be the first place in the whole of West Africa where International Student Day will be celebrated. So I want to appreciate His Excellency for accepting us and for allowing us to celebrate this day. But what does International Student Day stand for? International Student Day stands, 1, to remember those 9 students that were killed by the Nazi regime in 1939. November 17, and also to remember the invasion of Athens Polytechnic in 1973,
and also to remember the Velvet Revolution of 1989. Today we are celebrating. And one of the things I will do during this celebration is for student activism. And today, this is not the night to present. Of course, all we can see what Mr. Governor is doing on our campuses. We can see it in our state. But let me start with what I want to say. First of all, to beg my father, because I said he is my father. He remains my father. He has been kind-hearted, that they should reopen Ekiti State University. And please let me say this. Not minding whatever anybody might say about Ekiti State University, I am proud to be an expert. And I want to tell you that Ekiti State University is one of the best in Nigeria and in Africa. If you don't believe this, from the faculty of law where I am coming out from, within the period of 1.5 years, we have participated in 15 competitions. And I want to assure them, I want to tell you that in all the 15 competitions, there was no one that we came home without winning a trophy. And I want to tell you again that even after the clashes that erupted on our campus, we were at Ife for a competition. Even though we didn't prepare for that competition, we only called ourselves on phone. We went to Ife. Of course, even though we came second, but even Ife that came first had 50.3 while we had 50 points. That is to tell you that this university is a great university. And I want to say this again, that by the special grace of God, the attack that occurred on our university, I won't call it a protest. It is never a protest. If it is a protest, it will be led by someone. It will be coordinated. That attack was not coordinated, was not led by the union. It was an attack on our university. What that means is that security on our campus, something was done on it. But I want to commend the efforts of the Vice Chancellor during the crisis. But the last thing that we saw on that day after they came from the security agencies, even though I've been intimidated not to say this again, but I will keep on saying that what happened on that campus will have been where if security actually rose up to the occasion. Also, I want to solicit that we should allow student democratization of student movement. Let me tell you, I am not happy standing here as the chairman transition committee. But the reason why I accepted that position, I am not chairman caretaker, but chairman transition committee. And when you say transition committee, when you say transition, it's in process. And that is why I accepted it, and I want to believe that this process will lead to democratically elected student on our campus. And this will allow me and enable me to say that what has happened as far as the education care, that should not be had on our campuses again, in our student union movement. After the election, the person who has won the election should, I said should, be sworn in immediately. Because of my time, I have decided to put everything I'm going to say tonight on paper. I will hand it over to His Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, because I believe he's a man of elite that will listen to the yearnings and aspirations of students. But may I not say this, that when you talk about youth rescue units on our campuses, what is the root of it? And my press releases on the crisis that erupted on our campus, I have condemned it times without number. That is uncalled for, is is verbal, is primitive. And that is why courtesy requires a holistic approach from every quarter, from students, from government, and from the management of the school. Another thing I want to say, investment on our campuses, we need it. EXU is trying to have some factory where they will produce pure waters. EXU is trying to have a factory where they can bake their own bread. Because we have enough market for this. And we have to say this with this. The fantastic students, you will discover that they will always tell us that majority of people who get themselves engaged in courtesy and all manner of vices, they are students from PTP. They can engage them in this factory. A hybrid will become devil's workshop. And before I leave, let me just say something on the decline on our educational sector. Yesterday, I was on Daybreak Nigeria, said this, and I will restate it again. That the decline that we are witnessing in our educational sector actually came and is standing on the tripod from the parents to the teachers and government. But I want us to look at the first two, parents. I remember at my first program, each time I write a letter to my dad, he will sample all my spelling mistakes, send it back to me, Adeoye, improve your English. But today what do we have? Parents running after money. This is what we have. I think our parents should be ready to work and look after their words at home. They should see to their assignment. What of our teachers? Like I said yesterday, this is what I want to say again. I am saying it as Adeoye and not as the student union leader. The test, the need for assessment test that was introduced by Mr. Governor, I support it with the whole of my heart. And now we say, never that poor, none have it. You cannot give what you don't have. A teacher that will say, give me that sentence to settle my team. What do you expect from a student that will come out of me? And like Lordenic said, on nothing stands. And that is what we are saying, that person as a person. Today, I support it. Our teacher, they need to be tested. We need to know their capacity, ability, and capacity. We need it, not that I am praising Mr. Governor, but this is one that is brought in my mind. It is my own aspiration. It is known as pointing on knowledge. But today, what do we have? But by the special grace of God, like I said, someone will say, we don't have good background, we don't have this. And I want other students to learn from me. I grew up to train myself from age 17. From age 17, and all my younger ones. By the special grace of God today, I'm standing here, have built 3 graduates as students. Train up all my younger ones. And that is why your background does not mean your back to be on the ground, but it takes God to remove rough. Well, because of my time, Mr. Governor, please, we need the extension of skill acquisition program on our campuses. And well, Our Excellency, the work of the governor is not here. There was a thing that she did that is laudable that was commended, and that's the introduction of gender-based violence prohibition law in our state. But then, we need that awareness on our campuses. We need a campaign on our campuses. Gender-based violence prohibition law is a good law. And all form of molestation against our students, especially female students, is what we are standing against. Today, by the special grace of God, when I was the president of Faculty of Law, we set up what we call Female Law Student Advocacy Group. We need that to grow. We want it to grow so that we fight against all form of molestation, harassment, and intimidation of our female students on our campus. Thank you. Because of my time, like I said, I can't leave this place without commending my able comrades, Comrade Asheko, Comrade Nua, who we actually came together to support leader for the success of this program. Thank you and God bless.
join class. Ladies and gentlemen, we take one more now, and that one is coming from the President of the Students' Union.
And likewise, I can recognize the Speaker of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. He has once been in my school for a symposium in which my PRO purposely invited you there for a particular reason, in order to embed of the greatest Nigerian student. Well, so many things have been said by my people here today. But before I go on and talk, I want to appreciate my governor and the person. Once again, Comrade Dr. Kayode Fayemi, the Executive Governor of Maiden State. For the kind of law we'll be receiving, he has been having for us in College of Education in Ekiti. I want to tell you, though there are some things that has been done by this man, but not everybody that knows about it. But we, let me say we, when I say we in our school, I mean the school management and also the union leaders. It is only these people that can know what this man has actually done in our school. Well, I would like to mention some that has been done by him. The capital grant that he gives to us. Yeah. He really tried for that. Because I can see what that money is being used for in my school. I want to tell you, the road that leads to Igaramodo, Ekiti, is being rehabilitated by this government. Because he knows that our school is being situated along that road. So for this fact, what is it that one cannot appreciate somebody who is being very great and joyful thing for you? I can also see in my school there are so many programs that my school management, under the leadership of Professor Mrs. Francisca Oluwalarigano, has embarked on, like building of lecture halls in which such has never been in place before. Such as, again, the renovations of our hostels. Greatest Nigerian students, please let us listen. When you can find somebody who is really trying, who is really working wonderfully, you have to appreciate such a person. So I want you to listen and listen and listen attentively to those things that my man, Comrade Dr. Kayode Fayemi has become the college of education so far. Yes, I can see prophecy. I personally can see that Dr. Kayode Fayemi is really trying for college of education. It is through his assistance that the college of education was able to purchase Omar to protest poster boards. And that's why this particular man, I can remember during the time we had a protest, we took this government out. This man presented us a layman bus, which is to ease the transport of the Nigerian students in the College of Education. I also appreciate appreciate you, sir. The kind of leadership you bring to us in College of Education. My functioner said it the other time that the woman has been doing wonderfully. It is true. Because we have some people that you put in place to represent you that will never represent you well. But I want to assure you, this madam is wonderfully doing well in College of Education. It is somebody that you can be always proud of, honestly speaking. You know, it's not here now. The woman is not here. But in any place I get to, I will always be saying good about her because she has been wonderfully doing well in her school. So I appreciate you for giving us a very good management team. Thank you very much. To the greatest Nigerian student, to the greatest Nigerian student, I also want to appreciate the organizers of this program. Actually, we know that this is first of its kind in the history of West Africa. The students are celebrating their day today, and I think this will not become the end of it. It has been marked and adopted that every year students will be celebrating it like this. So for this fact, I appreciate the committee that rose up to set up this kind of a program that gave room to the Nigerian students to be able to interact with the #1 citizen of this state. Thank you very much for the greatest opportunity to give to us. I think that all will continue to do it. Thank you.
The lectures, but now we are fully occupied and they are lecturing us very well. So thank you, sir. Also, we'll be hearing of so many developments in tertiary institutions in the college, such as the EFSU and the College of Education in Kenya. But we want more concentration on the school, sir, in terms of infrastructure, so I can be able to attain the level at which other tertiary institutions in the state are. And also want encouragement in terms of scholarships for the students. We have so many students in the school that need the encouragement. Students that are very brilliant, but they don't have much people to sponsor them. So we need that, and we appreciate your good governance to do that to us. Thank you very much.
That's brevity. Thank you very much. And now, the very last one from the Afe Babalola University at Ekiti. May I invite Sonia Aijo Istra. Sonia Aijo Istra, Afe Babalola University at Ekiti.
Your Excellency, good evening, everybody. Our protocol duly observed. My name is Sonia Aijo Israel from the University of Afe Babalola, and I want to appreciate the governor for identifying our school. Although it's a private institution, but we are so glad for you identifying with us. And we are very happy because I came with my colleagues after we left our campus smiling with smiles on our faces, and we are happy that we are going to be living here with a broader smile on our faces. So we want to appreciate everyone, appreciate everybody here. And sir, I like to add this. You've been of great inspiration to all students here in Ekiti State, and we want to appreciate the fact that you motivated us both in all spheres, actually, educationally, morally, and we are so glad to have you as our governor. Very delighted. Our father, you are an example and to all other governors in Ekiti State. I'm proud to have you, sir. And I also like to bring to cognizance our founder, the Babufi of Ekiti, and I also like to bring to cognizance Vice Chancellor, Professor Chidi Osho, and I'd like to generally and finally appreciate everyone for making this day a very beautiful day. Thank you very much.
All the students who are making their contributions, Mr. Governor was busy taking notes. Very busy taking notes. And I know very shortly we'll Mr. Kola Abi.
But I am now an Governor. I respect every protocols, Your Excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen. Well, I am here to do what I know how to do best, and it's just another direction. So I want to beg everybody here to stand up, and in fact, sorry for that. Let me quickly beg the Excellency to stand up and remain standing until I'm done with you. As the greatest president, as the great governor, as the greatest state, you are going to raise up your right hand as we go in this worship song. Another challenge,
You are our own ambassador. So this is a program where you meet with Mr. Governor, the first of its kind, but it's not every day. But if you want to have an interaction with the governor, any of the commissioners, if you have questions to ask, there's an easy way online. And I'm very sure, if not all of us on Facebook, Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, please can you raise your hand? Okay, please, before you leave here, just go to twitter.com and register, just have an account. And Ekiti State have 6 digital platforms, apart from www.ekitistategov.ng, which is the state's website. That will showcase all the news and everything you want about the state. You want to know who your Oba is. How many of you know the name of your Oba, your village Oba? Do you know the name or the grade? Okay. Yeah, you have information about all that's online. Everything concerning this government, we try as much as possible to put everything online. You have it still has the largest archives online for the state government. Everything is transparent. You want to know about the budget that's been approved on a monthly basis, it's online. All the contracts that are being vetted and everything, it's online. Then to make it much more easier and simpler, you are all here today. By tomorrow, you will see your photos online. How about that? We have a Flickr account for the state government where you find the pictures of day-to-day activities with the government, the MBAs, everything that's going around. So if you go to www.ekitistategov.ng, on the upper left-hand corner, you see small icons where you have all the digital platforms. We have Flickrs where we upload all the photos. Then we have YouTube where all the videos goes online. You want to know about the commissioning of projects during the Sequoia anniversary, you were not opportune to be there. You want to know everything that is going on. Maybe they went to your village to commission the school or something. It's there online. You can get forms of documents you want. The presentation that was shown to you today is going to be uploaded. The Commissioner of Education was talking about a curriculum. You see the soft copy online. So you know your fingertips. So you can use the social media to interact positively. And Mr. Governor is on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @Kayode. So when you open your Twitter account, please follow Mr. Governor on Twitter. So you can follow and interact, ask questions for day-to-day activities. So you don't need to hear what people are saying.
And the greatest Nigerian students be part of this International Students' Day celebration. Let me issue a disclaimer first. This is not an Ekiti State government program. Student leaders sent me an email and said they would like to celebrate this day and would like government to be present so that we make it interactive. And I thought this is something that would really enhance our relationship on all fronts. It will give us the opportunity to explain what we're doing. It will give you as students the opportunity to highlight areas of concern, and collectively we can agree a roadmap and a timeline for delivery of some of those issues that are of concern to you. And I'm so happy that we have had the presence here of not just the management of our tertiary institutions, but also our student leaders and student mentors from those institutions. Education is the fastest and the shortest route to poverty eradication that I know of in the world. And not just in the bread and water sense of it, but in the sense of self-worth that it offers to all those who take advantage of education in all of its ramifications. We've had a lot tonight from the Honorable Commissioner in terms of what the government is doing. We have also heard from you areas of concern, areas of interest, and commendation. And we appreciate the commendation. When you give someone a pat on the back in recognition of the effort that the person is making, the reward for that part of the back is to continue to do more work in order to continue to earn commendation and appreciation from beneficiaries of the effort on the part of government. But then, government is not really doing you a favor. Education is your right. It's not a privilege. And within the limits of our resources, education should be the number one priority item for any government seriously worth its salt. And I'm glad that the institutions we have here have also witnessed in the last 24 months significant improvement in the quality of facilities and in the knowledge being imparted in such institutions. We heard about the College of Science and Health Technology and the improvements that the students have mentioned. We've heard from the representatives of the College of Education. We've heard from EXU representatives, and we've also heard from the representative of Afeba Balola University. We didn't get the chance to hear from the students from Federal University of Oye, but you know it's a new institution and they don't have the opportunity to be fully grounded yet. I think they are only probably just coming into school and don't have the experience to share with us. But I'm sure by the time this event is taking place next year, students from the Federal University will also have things to tell us about what is happening in their own institution. And I think by doing this, you are also demonstrating in large measure your generational responsibility. As student union activists, one author that I would like to recommend to you, if you don't already read it, that we used to choose when I was in the student union movement in my own days at the University of Lagos. Somebody known as Franz Fanon. And it was Franz Fanon who talked about the responsibility of every generation and why every generation must arise from its own relative obscurity and decide what its mission is. We can decide whether we want to be reactionary, who believe in status quo, or we decide whether we want to be progressive. By its very nature, student union activists are almost always progressive because we want change, we want transformation, we want things to get better. Everything you have said this evening, it's about our responsibility as government, the responsibility of parents, the responsibilities of the management without necessarily talking about your own responsibilities. But you have responsibilities too, don't you? You have rights, you have privileges, but you also have responsibilities. And I'm going to spend some few minutes talking about your own responsibility, in addition to all of those things you highlighted, which no one here could disagree with. But let me quickly dispense with some of the questions and issues you raised. For College of Health, Science and Technology, let me say upfront that you have been included in the Ekiti State bursary scheme. The chairman of the Ekiti State Scholarship Board is here, and he quickly whispered into my ear when you were making that point that you've also been incorporated, and you will recall that we've changed it from 5,000 to 10,000, and it covers all students now, not just including School of Science, College of Science and Health Technology, and I believe School of Nursing and Midwifery as well. There was also the question that my brother, the chairman of the transition committee, I love that gentleman. He is very, very, very articulate and impressive. He is what you would call EPUA. And he's raised fundamental issues that we must respond to. He talked about the correlation between social life and reduction in youth restiveness. And he's right. There's no debate about it. When many of us were in the university, we had enough to occupy us that by the time we finished, we were already tired. Of course, there were university clubs of all types, including what we used to know then as pirates. But I don't think it's what happens these days in universities can in any way be compared with even the milder form of violence and the responsibilities that accompany what pirates, and I believe we used to have Buccaneers. I hear later we now have AA and you have all sorts. But then I can't recall us having AA in the university, but we had Buccaneers, we had pirates, we had other clubs that were active. We had keggers. We had keggers, we had all sorts of social clubs, and the university ambience, the university environment afforded us the opportunity to really get involved in anything that we want to get involved in. If it's student union activism, there was enough room for you to do that. And there was enough room for you to also get rusticated if you misbehave. And some of us came very close to being rusticated for our union activities. But thank God we survived it. But what that then helped us with is to develop our leadership skill. We didn't know then that that was what was happening. But we were learning responsibilities. We were learning accountability to our colleagues. We were learning transparency in our operations. We were learning hard work. And we were also learning multiple tasks management, because the fact that you were a student union leader was no excuse, for you not to pass your exams. And I think during our own time, it's only the president of the student union, maybe the secretary general, that will have a year out to concentrate concentrate on the work of the union, not everybody. And if you think you can combine it, you can go on and do your work and still be leaders in the student union. I know that the issue you raised is of concern to the Vice Chancellor of the university because I've spoken to him about it. And I know that one of the priorities that the State University has now is to create that atmosphere that can enhance social life within the university by first ensuring that you even have hostels properly called, not the hotels that some of you live in now. It does not really help you to form that bond that comes out of living within the university campus. And that for me is a priority. I know that this process is ongoing, it's been advertised, and the opportunity will be expanded. And I also agree with you that university libraries should not close by 4 p.m. I mean, when we were there, university libraries were closing at 10 p.m. So 4 p.m. is a no-no. It's not an administrative office. It is a university library. But you also put your finger on it. Security is a priority. If it's going to happen, you must make all the necessary arrangements so that when you are moving from your library to your hostel, particularly because you don't live on campus, you are adequately protected. I'm sure if I asked students from Afewa University, their libraries are either the law library or the main library, the libraries do not close at 4 p.m. You must certainly be open till late in Afewa University because they have an enclosed environment which would make that possible. You had also raised the issue of democratizing your student union movement. Absolutely spot on. And I know that even though I'm just a visitor, I'm not the university vice chancellor, I'm sure it's an issue that is also of concern to the university vice chancellor. And I'm sure they're eager to complete the process of democratization. And that's why transition is a process. You're right. That process must result in finality, which is an election of the student union leadership. A leadership that also must realize that that is a body that comes with responsibilities if you are elected as leader of the student union. And it is not to permanently turn yourself in defense of the interests of students into antagonists of the school management. But you must challenge the school management. You must put the feet of the vice chancellor to fire, not literally. I'm not saying you should go on. But you must hold the vice chancellor accountable and ensure that those things that are of concern to students get relayed to the vice chancellor and to the university management in a manner that he can also put pressure on me as the visitor and say if the state government must find us this or find us that in order to meet the demands that are being made by the students, where those demands are legitimate. And you've highlighted a number of issues. I am interested and we will take this forward with you in the skill acquisition center you mentioned. You've spoken to me about it in private, so I'm glad you're raising it here. Because when we laid the foundation of the Samsung Engineering Academy, the chairman of the transition committee came to me and said, why are you concentrating on the government technical college? Do you think we don't need computer training in the XU? And I said, well, that's not the idea. But now that you mentioned it, we will make additional effort to ensure that life skills are also provided beyond just paper qualification when you are in the university, particularly entrepreneurial skills. Because for us, it's about functional education. It's it's not just about paper qualifications. There are many people who I meet who come out of this university with paper qualifications. And I am shocked at the English they speak and what they write. It is abominable, it's objectionable, it is not acceptable for somebody who calls himself or herself a university graduate to speak or write such quality of English. And I think it's something that we need to pay significant attention to. And we also need to make available the opportunities to learn new skills that can make you employable. Because that is the greatest challenge we face now. And the youth bulge that we have in the country, we see it on the streets here in Ekiti. One of the greatest concerns that I have as governor in Ekiti is the number of young people I see who do not seem to have anything that they're doing at any particular point. It's a threat to all of us. It's a threat to you as young people, it's a threat to government, it's a threat to society. And we almost work collectively to make the situation better for us. Yes, we have the volunteer scheme for new graduates, but we need to rise above that. We need to move beyond that and create better opportunities for you to become entrepreneurs in your own right, to work together with your colleagues and start your own businesses. There is nothing that suggests that that's not possible. And on our part, very soon, we're going to be appointing somebody to also work with students. The special assistant of students matter. To really act as a vehicle to filter some of these things. If you are too tired to send me a message or a text, some of you do send me text messages. Some also send me messages on Facebook. And others, now that you have my Twitter account, will probably do the same. But the important thing is for us to recognize that knowledge will forever govern ignorance. And we must always seek the guidance of knowledge in all we do. On our part, as a government, we do not have a choice. We would listen to you, we would respond to you, we will be honest with you. We will not play politics with you. Where we do not have the resources, we're going to be upfront and tell you that we do not have the resources. Where we have the resources, we will put the resources at your disposal. And if there are things that you think are not going right, you should also be ready to share such with us. We already know some. And some we're tackling, some we may not have reached the point of tackling them, but we are committed to ensuring that we turn this opportunity that we have of not just having a governor who used to be like you, and many people used to say I was just a troublesome kid causing problems for university professors, and God rest the soul of my vice chancellor, Professor Akindeshola. At a point, the man got fed up and said, some of us, maybe we should just leave the university. And for nothing, for doing precisely what we're doing. And I like the way you put it, the diplomat chairman. On the one hand, Professor, I know he's our father, and I like that kind of fatherly care. But you still put across your message in a manner that you do not ignore it. And I'm sure he's not going to ignore all that you highlighted, because I'll remind him when we have our own sessions, I'll let him know that, remember, the chairman said we have not done this and done that. We must try and do it. But the resources available to him too are not limitless. I just want you to know that the resources available to all your provosts and rectors and vice chancellors are finite resources, and they have to manage the resources with prepared. They're doing a really good job of managing those resources. And you can see the result in some of the things happening in the university and the colleges now. But you also have to do your part. I'm glad some of you have talked about what you see government doing in terms of infrastructure. Those infrastructures have to be protected. The idea of students burning down buildings, cars in the university is unacceptable. There are so many levels at which you can protest. And in the matter that occurred at EXU, unfortunately, you had every good reason to protest. If you lost your colleague, but things could have been better handled without the lapses that occurred. Yes, the security agencies did not live up to their responsibilities, but in the first instance, why would we even resort to the orgy of violence that led to the avoidable destruction that we suffered? Now we have to replace all those things, and it has been a source of friction between the university management and yourselves too, because you feel, well, I was not the one who burned down the school, I did not destroy the farm, I did not burn down vehicles, why are they asking me to pay a penalty? Unfortunately, there is something called collective responsibility. And in situations where you cannot pinpoint or identify those responsible or culpable for an offense, all of us end up suffering. I would like to recommend a book. I've just finished reading a book, and I will really try and get copies for many of you. The book is titled Water Flows Up the Hill. It's a reflection of Professor Roger Makonjola, who was Vice Chancellor at the University of the Obafemi University, of his time in office as Vice Chancellor, and his encountered his challenges with ASU, with students, with governing council, with all manner of people that he had to deal with as University Vice Chancellor. I honestly didn't know that the job could be that complicated until I read that memoirs of Professor Makonjola. And I think both university administrators, students, those of us at the outer end should read the book and really learn a few things from it. Because when you are acting in local parenting for boisterous young people, as Vice Chancellor, Professor Makonjola was beaten up by students who fight in the hall, he faced all manner of challenges. But he also earned the respect and confidence of the students at the end of the day, because they knew that he was there for them, he was passionate about improving their lives, and he did all he could to also improve the quality of the education they were getting. And I know this is what Professor Aino, Professor Arimusala, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, and me, and all of them are doing to transform your university in a manner that has not been done in recent times. It is what is happening in Ikere, it is what is happening in Ijero. These are institutions that have gone through challenges, and they've been reformed, they've been transformed so that the products of the institutions will be worth their salt. No longer will someone come out of university here in Ekiti. The other day, just last week, the government of Ogun State approached us to help them check 200 fake certificates that allegedly came from the old Ekiti State University, University of Maiden, in their biometric screening exercise that they're doing in the public service in the state. And it used to happen. People got, so that's why I was impressed when I heard what the commissioner was saying about certificate carrying photographs and all that. I hope that will help us eliminate some of these problems that we've had in the past. But what all of this boils down to, and that's where I want to come to the responsibility because the food is getting cold, is at the end of the day, what values do we hold dear? As students and as leaders, I hate that terminology of future leaders, leaders of tomorrow. We are not leaders of any tomorrow. If you are going to be leaders tomorrow, we must be leaders today. You are present leaders. And when you are leaders, there are things that you must be associated with. And there are things you must not be caught dead in. There must be irreducible minimum in your pursuit, whether in activism or in your educational career. We say we're the land of honor. There was a reason why we changed that motto from fountain of knowledge to the land of honor. Because we believe that honor encapsulates everything. Honor encapsulates brilliance. It encapsulates integrity. It encapsulates competence. It encapsulates transparency. It encapsulates character. But if you are brilliant without character, you are not honorable. And there's so many people who are smart, as in book smart, but they're completely lacking in integrity. That smartness forces arrogance on them. They're not humble, they're not honest, they don't have integrity, they don't have character. And you know, the Yoruba elders will always say that character is beauty. Iwalewa. For me, if you take nothing out of this interaction we had tonight, I just want you to reflect on the concept of Iwa and Omoluabi, because that's what we used to be known for. That's what used to matter to us in Ekiti. We may not have a lot of riches and wealth, but we always cherish the fact that we come from a good home. Our name is important to us. We do not want to rubbish a name that we are actually borrowing from those who have used it before us. But these days, without sounding preachy, there is a challenge out there that we must confront. In the name of modernity, I think there are certain things that do not seem to matter to us again. And we need to restore values that are timeless, values that will carry us far in all of our endeavors, in order to really make good anything we get out of the university or out of our tertiary institution. It's only then that we can turn it to a wealth-creating experience. Otherwise, we will remain stuck in that mode that is always whining and complaining and not seeing anything good because you have not built yourself, built your character to the point of selfless, committed, competent service to yourself and to humanity. And if you look at the story of those we're celebrating today, it's a story of resistance. Resistance to oppression. That's a value. It's a very, very important value. What the students in Prague did was to be honorable by resisting oppression. And nobody can fault you for that. What we did as students or as Luther campaigners against military rule was to resist the oppression of the Abacha dictatorship and Babangida regime. And there were many people who were telling us then, why are you trading this dangerous ground? Why are you running underground radio against government? They will kill you. Your parents must not hear what you are doing. So for me, when I see your activism, I'm elated because I believe that at least the torch has been passed on and some are still lighting the candle. And that's all you have to do. That is the job you have as leaders. You cannot solve all problems, but you can light the candle so that others will find a way. And when they find a way, they will chart the course to the right destination. I believe that is our duty as student leaders. I believe that's what you are here to reflect on, and it is something that we all must continue to do because leaders are not born. Leaders are made. They are made in the crucible of struggles. Struggle for your own rights in the university will translate to struggles for a better society, will translate to struggles for a more accountable government. And we all have responsibilities in place. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I want to say that, just as Fumi mentioned, don't hesitate if you have thoughts to share, if you have ideas, if you have criticism. Please about things that are not going right in the state and the university and all of your other institutions. And we read them, we take note of them, and we act on them also. I want you to rest assured that whatever you send to us, even those sent in utmost confidentiality, will be respected. And we will check them out, we'll check the veracity of your claim, and act on it. Because I do not possess all the answers to these challenges. I am no repository of knowledge. I'm not the smartest Ekiti person. I am just blessed. God has endowed me with the opportunity to be in this position. It's a rare privilege and a rare honor. And I cherish that opportunity. But the only way it can have any meaning is the extent to which I use this office to affect lives in a positive way, in the greatest number for the greatest good in our society. And if you help me to do that, then my job will have been done, and we will have improved the life of all of us together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And the drinks will follow accordingly. Thank you. Mr. Governor, sir, the table is set. As I hand over the microphone to the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports and Social Development, in following short.
Governor of Ekiti State, Comrade Dr Kayode Fayemi. My job tonight is so simple. My job is to appreciate Mr. Governor for his spirit of cooperation, for the fraternity. Mr. Governor has demonstrated the leadership quality while he was a student. He led very well. And in the Alta Society, is leading on the very great. I want on behalf of the Nigerian students, thank you very much for this wonderful gathering. Like it has been recorded, that for the first time, it is scoring another first in the history of West Africa. And today, we can see a reapproachment between the government and the student. I did remember when I was in school, we never had this kind of opportunity. The closest is always at the point where schools were closed down. But today is not that schools are closed down, but we are celebrating Students International. Mr. Governor, thank you very much. To the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, we thank you and the ministry for putting up this program. Wonderful woman, may God continue to bless you. ESCO's member here present, heads of tertiary institutions, body of permanent secretaries, top government functionaries, greatest Nigerian students, articulate Nigerian students. I know we are having a meal now. I know it's an sumptuous meal. I want to sincerely thank you for coming, for partnering with the Ekiti State Governor. I know it is a joint responsibility, it's a collective responsibility to make it great. And with Dr Kayode Fayemi, I can assure you a greater Ekiti is possible. All you need to do is just keep faith in DKN. It will deliver dividends of democracy to everyone of you. Thank you and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to briefly take photographs now.